The far post, nodded down and flicked in.
The back post, free chance, and he's played it!
Dan, it's been a very positive 10 days in terms of results and performances for the club with 3 wins. What's your initial reflections on those last 10 days?
Yeah, I think really pleased for the players, really pleased for the fans. I think when you're involved from a coaching and management perspective, actually I think the process has been good for a lot longer than that 10 days. And there were signs that these results were going to come off the back of those performances that we'd seen in previous weeks. So just really pleased that everyone's effort and endeavour has been rewarded with those 3 positive results.
If we head back to that Thursday night Devon derby, felt like it really showed off the best of Exeter City, not only in terms of the performance, but the club and the atmosphere on the night. Yeah,
it was a fantastic evening. It was brilliant actually to be able to share with people. I sort of explained that was the closest I'd seen it, along with Nottingham Forest, to the Barrow evening on that Tuesday night or whenever it was that we got promoted. So it was brilliant for people that maybe hadn't experienced the club at that energy, that buzz that was around the game. So it was brilliant for people to experience that, and again, just great that we performed under that pressure. I loved us out of possession on that evening. I know people have spoke about us in possession, but I thought the way that the team defended from the front was outstanding on that evening and gave us such a platform to go on and win the game.
Can you just talk to us briefly a bit about the preparations for that game? Because I know Gary brought in a few different things for the players. I think David Oldfield spoke about his time in playing in the Manchester derby, and then you had some messages from a couple of former managers who'd obviously managed the games. How did that go down with the players, and what was the thoughts behind that?
Yeah, I think, well, first and foremost, it was about accepting and acknowledging that it was a big game, that it means a hell of a lot to a lot of people around this area, and I think that once you accept and acknowledge that, you then start to put in place processes to go and thrive under that pressure. So I think that was the first thing the manager did really well. And again, then it was about, there was tactics and there was a plan for the game, but it was also about a feeling that the players would go on to feel that evening. And I think by getting people to talk about their experiences, it was letting them know that when those feelings come around in that game, that's normal. And it's about harnessing that energy and those feelings that you get going into a big game. So yeah, I think it was a really well put together piece by the club, utilising Tiz and Matty. And then the manager speaking about his previous experiences, and then David, all coming at it from different angles, but just looking to put in place a support to the players to let them know that we were all with them that evening, and everyone wanted them to do as well as they possibly could.
You mentioned Forest and Barrow just now as well, and that atmosphere was very much up there with the best we've ever seen at the park, I'd say.
Yeah, it was. I still remember the Barrow game. I mean, it all went wrong a little bit to start with, didn't it? But then we came back and it was a brilliant evening. And I still remember Cam Dawson running up to take that goal kick, thinking there's a lot of people about to come on this pitch. But yeah, going back to that, I remember going out for the warm-up that evening. And it was the same actually for the Plymouth game last Thursday. There was just an energy in the stands. And you knew you had to be right at it to go and get the win that evening, and it was a good feeling. It's the type of pressure that you want. It means that what you're doing matters. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable evening, and I think then moving on to the next 2 games, the best thing was that evening wasn't the peak of the week. We actually carried on the momentum. We kept taking a forward step. We kept trying to win each game, and I think that any team can have one good evening, one good win, but a good team starts to put together a run of performances, a run of results, and that's what we're hoping to start to put in place now.
And on that Tuesday night game against Arsenal and Twin, we knew realistically we'd have to win to, maintain the ability to qualify in that group. Was it pleasing to see the way the players went about it and the fact they showed character to come from behind 3 times to get the win?
Yeah, that's always a pleasing aspect of it. I think we set our intent out with the team that we picked, the preparation that we did on the Monday. Winning matters, and I know that seems a strange thing to say, but winning is really difficult any professional level. And you should never give up opportunities to go and do that. And we went out there with every bit of intent that we had to win that game. And like I say, I love the way that the players stuck together. I love the way that they found a way to win that game, because across the course of the season you're going to need various different ways to pick up results, and that's the business that we're in. We know that, and again, you thrive under that opportunity and that pressure to go and win games. And like you said, we had to win that game to put ourselves in position to hopefully progress in this competition.
Does that break of competition also give some players an opportunity to get some minutes and show what they can do? I mean, you look at Jack Aitchison, he's had a season disrupted by injury, but he played, scored and looked really good in that game, and obviously that'll give him confidence, but also those minutes that he needs to get back to the first team.
Yeah, it's there's lots of outcomes you can get from those games. I would say that every day is an opportunity for the players, the way that we train, the way that we prepare for games. But then when we go out and we play in any competition, we're looking to represent the club to the highest possible level. We're looking for players to step forwards and show the progress they're making on an individual basis, but then the collective to go and get the result. I think we got all of those aspects on Tuesday night against Arsenal.
And then moving to FA Cup action on Saturday, on paper looked like it could be a tough tie. They were unbeaten at 8 at home and are doing well in the National League, and with the team selection that we put out and the way we performed, I think it shows how important the FA Cup is to the team. Yeah,
I think the competition's important to the team, to the football club. It's a huge part of where this football club is today, 20 plus years on since that game. But I think you have to respect the competition, you have to respect the opposition. They're performing to a high level in their league, and we knew that if we weren't quite at our best, this game could turn into a cup tie in any moment, and all of a sudden the crowd will be behind them, and you're creating a really difficult game for yourself. So I think the way that we started the game showed the mindset the players were in. The manager was very clear in the preparation for what we needed to do, and then it comes down to the players' mentality and quality to go and execute that. And I think across the course of the last 3 games, there's definitely been areas to improve, but I love the way that in each game we've found a different way to go and win those matches, and I want that to become a habit for the team, because like I say, winning matters, competing matters, and that is a really good habit to get into, both on an individual basis and a collective.
And that's 8 goals scored in the last 3 games and 2 clean sheets, and the goals have come from all over the pitch. Is that really pleasing to see going into the rest of the season? Yeah,
really pleasing. I think you look again across the course of the season, you've got to be very careful that you're not depending on just one player. And I think that if you look at this team, there's goals that can come from lots of different areas through lots of different forms, whether that's set pieces, whether that's crosses, whether that's working it through centrally. And that's things that we want to continue to get better with. We want to be a team that spends more time in the opposition's half, that finds different ways to score goals, finds ways to limit transitions for the opposition. So yeah, I like the way that the goals are coming from different areas. I am really pleased that Josh and Jayden have managed to get goals, because actually I think some of their out of possession work has provided a really good platform for them to then go and get those goals. But a real collective effort. You don't go and win 3 games in 10 days unless everyone contributes, and that goes for the staff across the club and the players.
And obviously we've got different attacking options this season, having the profiles of Jayden and Josh, which obviously gives different options regardless of who we play.
Yeah, definitely different profiles, but what I would say goes for both of them is they love scoring goals. I've really liked this group to work with. When we train and we work on any of our attacking patterns and combinations, there's a real mentality to go and score goals. And like I say, whether it's trying to win games, whether it's scoring goals, whether it's stopping goals, that's a habit. That's something that you create on a Monday to Friday, and then you hope that it's rewarded on the Saturday. You can't just bank on it being there and you just turn it on. So we're big on habits, we're big on process, and like I say, I'm glad that the players are getting some rewards for the work that they put in.
I say defensively we've looked strong this season, 2 clean sheets out of the last 3 games. And when you mentioned Josh McGuinness there, I think back of the Argyle game and Saturday where he's in our box clearing headers in the sort of 88th minute, and that just shows how dedicated the players are to getting those clean sheets. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a collective effort. We always say that actually our in possession starts with Joe. He's the personality of the team in possession, and our out of possession personality is set by our centre forwards and our attacking players. And I think again, one of the things that I loved the most against Plymouth was the way that our front players set off the press. They set traps. They gave the team such a platform to go and work from. So yeah, it's a real collective effort, whether that's defending set pieces, attacking set pieces, defending in open play or attacking in open play. It's about the collective, and that's what the strength of this team has to be moving forwards. And we have to understand what's got us these results, so that we can use it and replicate it moving forwards.
And personally for yourself, what's been the most pleasing aspect of the last 3 games, would you say?
I think from a club perspective, I thought it was the way that we showcased ourselves in those 2 home games, and I include the Arsenal game because I thought that was a fantastic turnout. And then again in the away game, the way that the club represented itself, I couldn't believe how many people were there off the back of, we had a horrendous journey Friday, but to see so many people there, again, you walk out on that pitch and you can't let them down. Now you might not get the result, but you have to put in the effort for them. And then just going back to the squad, I would say it's the amount of players that have contributed. That's the most pleasing thing across the 10 days, is players being ready to step in and to step up. Because again, like I say, the collective will be the defining factor in where this group finishes this year. So we have to be strong together.
And I think there's obviously a feel-good factor around the club in terms of fans and players and everything, but now we're back to the next game being the most important, and that's back to league action on Saturday in Wigan, which is going to be another tough test. Yeah,
the preparation for that's already started. Already had discussions, already looking to put in place what this week looks like to give us the best preparation to pick up a result in that game and to perform to the highest possible level. And I think, like I say, it's good when you're in the coaching side of it, because you have to stay consistent. You have to look at, after Plymouth, trust me, we found areas to be better. After Arsenal, exactly the same, and after Halifax, exactly the same. So it's all about acknowledging what you did really well and trying to replicate that, but then also looking for those small margins that you can improve, so that you can, again, keep picking up momentum, keep picking up results and performing to the highest level you possibly can.
And again, the fans can play their part on Saturday as well. They've been great so far this season, and that atmosphere really does make a difference. The players say it themselves that the big bank and that can drag the ball into the net, so more of the same on Saturday.
Yeah, the big bank obviously can do that when we're playing the game, but like I say, there was a feeling when we went out to the warm-up, and I'd love that feeling to be there again, because similarly, when the players show the level they can get to, you want consistency. When the fans show that as well, you want exactly the same. But we understand it's our part as well to give them energy, to give them something to get behind. And I hope that they see a team, whether they win, draw, lose, hopefully they see a team that represents them, that wants to do well for them. And that's what I think they'll see throughout the remainder of this season.
Perfect.